Yes, I can't believe I'm going to make a video about this either, but here we are. Call it cathartic or just wanting to get it off my chest, I thought it was time to look a bit deeper into the numbers of Essendon's last 20 years.
This is scary.
Sometimes we just see the numbers and don't read any more into it than that. We think, oh, Essendon hasn't won a final for 20 years. That seems unlikely. And we don't think much more about the details of that. But when you delve into the details, it's actually quite extraordinary.
What are all these numbers?
You're probably going to enjoy this if you're an opposition supporter, and you'll probably hate it if you're an Essendon fan like me. But facts are facts and they can't be ignored. So here we go. The first one we'll look at is the one that everyone is aware of the most, and that's the fact that Essendon hasn't won a final for 20 years.
I know this one.
But what does this mean in the numbers? Well, if you look at the numbers, 4, 5, or 6 teams can win finals every year. On average, it should be 5. So 5 teams should win finals out of 18. That means there's a 72% chance that any given club will not win a final in any given season. So for Essendon to not win a final for 20 consecutive years, that 72% chance has to have come up 20 times in a row. Well, what are the chances of that happening?
I don't understand.
Well, the chances of that happening are 0.14906%, which equals a 1 in 671 chance.
Jesus Christ!
So it seems quite extraordinary, but that's the numbers. The chances of not winning a final for 20 years, Essendon has achieved a 1 in 671 chance.
That is weirdly impressive.
Another one that doesn't get talked about quite as much is that Essendon has not finished in the top 6 for the last 22 consecutive seasons, or the last 22 completed seasons. The last time Essendon finished in the top 6 was 2002.
Okay, I vaguely remember that.
2003 onwards, 22 completed seasons, Essendon has finished 7th or worse. Now, in an 18-team competition, the chances of finishing 7th through to 18th is 66.6%. You're in the bottom 2/3 of the competition. So the chances of finishing 7th through to 18th for 22 years in a row is the chances of a 66% chance happening 22 times in a row. The chances of this is 0.01306%, or, and I had to do a double take here because I can't believe this number, but it's true, the chances of this happening is 1 in 7,657.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And yes, I know it hasn't been an 18-team competition for all of that time, but just for the sake of the exercise, we'll just say it was an 18-team competition to make the calculation a bit easier. The assumption with all these numbers as well is, in a competition with a salary cap and a draft, is that every team, in theory, is just as likely as every other team to win the premiership.
In theory.
Obviously not in any single season, but over a period of time, say a 20-year period, every team, at least in theory, should have had the same amount of success as every other team. That is the whole point of the draft and the salary cap, and why we assume that every team has the same chance as everybody else. The last one is pretty extraordinary. Geelong has finished with a higher percentage than Essendon for the last 21 consecutive seasons.
Not them again.
When I say percentage, I mean the for and against, 4 divided by against times 100, points for divided by points against times 100. Now, in a draft and a salary cap competition, you should have a higher percentage than any other given team half the time, and you should have a higher percentage than any other given team half the time as well. So the chances of Essendon having a lower percentage than Geelong for 21 years in a row is a 50% chance coming up 21 times in a row. The chances of this happening is 0.00004%, or 1 in 2,500,000.
What the hell? What the hell?
I always knew my club was 1 in a million. Now I can say that we're 1 in 2 million.
1 in a billion. 1 in a Googleplex.
Or 1 in 2.5 million to be precise. So there are two options here. Either Essendon has just been extraordinarily unlucky and been on the wrong end of some amazing statistical quirks over the last 20 years, or something has been very, very wrong over the club over a long period of time that has led to these astonishing outcomes.
I chose the latter.
I think we know the answer is the latter. But explaining it in the way that I have does put it into perspective in a way that perhaps others haven't put it, describing the numerical ineptness over the club, at the club, over such a long period of time. What makes it worse for me in particular is that over those 20 years, I've missed attending only 2 games, not including COVID, of course. Something tells me I haven't really got value for money. Can we turn it around? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? What do you think, Bomber fans? And opposition fans, what is your take also? If you like this channel and you like the content that I provide, please consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, have a great day.